Welcome to another episode of Paul's Asian Adventure. In this episode, we're going to talk about girls in the Philippines versus girls in the West, specifically when it comes to live-in girlfriends. And stick around to the end for some gold nuggets. So the main point that emphasizes all the following points is the dependency and independency of the girls in the West versus the girls here. The girls in the Philippines, especially when they're living, they seem to be much more dependent on us as a foreigner than in the West. In the West in general, people have more of an independent streak, whether it's men or women, while here, the women especially seem to have a more dependent type of streak. So they rely on you for a lot of direction, which way they want to go, which way you want to go should be the primary thing you have to think about, because they'll typically ask you, or typically say, it's up to you. You might say, do you want to go have pizza? Do you want to eat fish? Do you want to have Filipino food? And you'll always hear, it's up to you. So they want you to take charge. So that's the main difference, and that leads to the following. Typically, girls here, they like to cook at home, they like to clean, they like to take care of the house, and they like to take care of you, which is a good thing, but it can also lead to some bad stuff. As an example, with my living girlfriend, Mia, she likes to cook, and she cooks good food, and we tend to eat too much. Like, she makes a pesto pasta that I just freaking love, and I just eat and eat and eat. And she doesn't make a small portion, she makes a really big portion, and what's left over she freezes down. So it's very easy to gain weight when you have a live-in partner. I've been away from Mia now for 6 weeks, and I've lost a lot of weight just because of working out, just because I'm kind of lazy when it comes to the cooking department. It'll be night, what shall I eat? I'll just make some eggs and a piece of bread, and that's it for me. So, but if Mia was here, I'd be eating some really good food and big portions. So that's something you have to watch. And that leads into health and being healthy and unhealthy. In the West, typically, as a girl is more dependent, they might go to their own gym, you go to your own gym, or you might go to the gym together. Here, specifically in the Philippines, they don't have that type of workout culture. So if you're into working out, being healthy, most women here, sorry to say, are not. I mean, they look good because they walk a lot and they eat, semi-healthy, but you have to instill that into your girl here if you have a live-in partner, and it takes time. It took time with Mia, and we're still working on the portion part of it, but that's my fault too, because I love the food. So eating healthy, working out, just being healthy in general is different here than in the West. The girls I dated in the West were very health conscious, very health conscious. Many of them were vegetarians. I don't know if that's good or bad, but they thought it was a good thing. They would go to the gym, they would go hiking, they had everything. They were into being healthy, and if they were not, I wouldn't date them. But here, girls are typically unaware of that, so you have to instill that into them. Another thing that I've noticed is very different between live-in partners here and live-in partners in the West are disagreements. Disagreements in the West seem to be resolved, for the most part, easily via communication. However, here, there tends to be a drama mama type of deal, where they'll play tampo, or they'll lose their temper, or they won't communicate as well as a Western woman in general. So you have to be aware of this difference, and that leads to other type of personality differences, which is jealousy. Typically, the women I have dated in the West, of course, everybody has a bit of jealousy. I mean, if you really love somebody and like somebody, you're going to have a bit of jealousy, right? But typically, except for one girl I dated, they're not that jealous as they are here. And that, I think, also leads in, it's because of the dependency and independency of Western versus Filipino women. So they can be very, very jealous here. I mean, to the point where it's like the secret network, the CIA, FBI, KGB all combined. I mean, they're trying to watch your phone, trying to call you 5 times a day, and want to video chat. Even though you're at the coffee shop with your guy friends, they want to video chat just to make sure there's no one else there. And if you give in to that pattern, and then one day you say, I don't want to take this call, then all hell breaks loose. So you kind of have to set the frame from the beginning and say no to that. Because once they start down that path, there's no end to it. The same with the phone. They want access to your phone. For me, that's a no-no. For some people, it's okay. But for me, it's a no-no. Because I know once you start down that path, it's not a good path. They want access to your computers. They might hover around you while you're on your laptop. So you got to be aware of that type of behavior, and it's a behavior that can be understood once you think of the dependency they have on you versus the independent type of mindset a Western woman has compared to here. And it's not just about the financial. I know you guys probably think it's the financial. It's the way they're brought up. They do the same with their Filipino partners. So now, when you have a live-in partner here in the Philippines, it also leads to another thing, which can be good and bad depending on your point of view, which is different than the West. Expectations. What do I mean by expectations? Well, expectations that this is going to go further. There's going to be more. There's going to be marriage. There's going to be a baby. It seems like live-in partner is the first move towards that. In the West, in general, these girls, I have been live-in partner. They might have secretly wanted that, but they never said that outwardly towards me, like, hey, I expect marriage, -1, the crazy jealous one. But so you have to be aware of, once you move them in, there's going to be a different type of expectation, and that's why all this jealousy and all this drama and everything I've already talked about happens, because of these expectations. They're expecting more in the future. They're expecting this live-in thing is like a trial period towards something greater for them. Then there is you as a person, and that's something I really have to emphasize. As you as a foreigner, when you come here, you kind of have to adapt to their lifestyle, okay? You have to accept that there are going to be differences. I mean, don't accept it to the point where she drives a truck over you, but accept it to the point where you know there are going to be differences, so that you can set the frame as a person. And once you set that frame, keep that frame. But you have to understand there are going to be differences in the culture of eating, the culture of expectation, the culture of jealousy, the culture of communication. So once you understand that, you can kind of start adapting to that and talking to her about it and kind of finding a middle ground. So communication is the key here. Setting the frame in the beginning is the key here. To me, the drama thing is unacceptable. So you have to set that right at the beginning and say, you know what, this is not acceptable. However, communicate to me your concerns and we can work through them. And that's what I've done with me, and that's worked really well. So that to me is one of the most important things when you come out here. Set the frame, because these women are so dependent on you to take the lead. And if you don't set the frame, then they are forced to set the frame. And once they are forced to set the frame, it is not going to be good for you. I can guarantee you that. I've seen it time and time and time again. And having the woman set the frame will end badly. Women here, they want a leader. They want what they define as an alpha male, somebody who will take the lead, someone who will say, today we're going to the beach, not what shall we do today? Shall we go to the beach, or shall we go to the waterfall? Shall we go out and eat? Don't do that. You say, today we're going to the waterfall, unless you have a better suggestion. 99% of the time they'll say, you know what, let's go hiking to the waterfall. So set the frame, that's the gold nugget right at the beginning. Once you've been with a girl for 6 months, a year, and you try to set the frame, that's probably not going to end well. So with that, I'd like to thank you for watching to the end and getting that gold nugget. It's worth it. Watch it to the end. And don't forget, please, to subscribe, share, like, and comment, as that really helps in the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't checked Mia's channel out, it's Filipina Life with Mia. It's a really good channel. She's approaching 6,000 subs in less than 2 months, and it's growing very fast, and she has some really good content. So go watch her channel as well, and I'll see you on the next video.